And what's up, everyone? It is me, Pat, joined with my two amazing co-hosts, which I actually have to fix your screens. There they go. Brandon and Naman. Welcome. It's actually the
trio.
Hey,
this is like 2 weeks in a row, man. And 3 weeks in a row that Nick's been here.
I know.
It's
I'm
crazy.
impressed. Good job, sir.
Thank you.
We should pat him on the back or something. Like,
I deserve it. I know that the 19th, the weekend of the 19th there.
Yeah.
I hope I'll be around for that. We'll see.
Is this like you're the opposite of us? We're like, yeah, I'll be there, except for this weekend.
I know next week that I'm like 99% sure I won't be there because it's my Chickpea's birthday.
Okay, that's
on the 10th, and we're going out to celebrate with like other people, and then so like Thursday we're gonna like actually have our time together to celebrate, and then
yeah.
So.
What's this our time stuff?
I know it's crazy.
How does that
and then the 19th, 20th, that's the DC Red Bull event. So.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's we'll see how that goes.
It's also pre-release. No,
it is, but I'm not going to be able to do pre-release because I'll be in DC watching StarCraft.
Priorities.
So weak.
Priorities, but I'm still
honestly,
buying.
I would do that.
See, what I'm doing is I'm buying a pre-release thing, and I'm just going to do like a mini pre-release with my friends. We're all just going to buy them and be like, shh, F it.
Why not? And then one guy like makes his deck ahead of time. Had some cards that he won. He's like, yeah, I've got 19 rares in my deck. Like,
I don't know what happened, guys. I got all the pulls.
I got foil rare and non-foil rare. Same pack. Like, all of It's weird. I even got 3 versions, so I'm like, it's really cool though.
Got all the fetches here. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just going to town. So guys,
Place said
this
those
is-
lands that we haven't talked about yet, and therefore people don't
Yeah.
know about.
So this is State of the Gathering, episode 50, guys.
50.
50.
Yeah.
The-
Right.
The big 50.
Yeah. The
Actually,
big 5-0.
SC2 Up and Coming is going to have its 100th episode on Tuesday.
You know, you're just a one-upper, aren't you?
Yeah, you are.
That's what you are.
We should just get rid of him off the show.
Now then again, SC2 Up and Coming has been going on for 2 years.
It's
It
true.
took us 2 years to get to that 100. So
You know what? I still believe, though. I believe that eventually you'll ask me to come on your show and not be a host.
I was interviewed by that.
Silence.
That's like, haven't you been on the show before? What?
Have I?
I was interviewed.
Man, I
by
don't
that.
remember anymore.
I think you both have been on the show before.
Yeah.
I don't think
was
I do
interviewed.
anything in StarCraft anymore, so it'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
do
guest
anything.
host it again. We'll do that. That was fun. Next
Yeah,
time
I
you're
do
gone.
nothing in StarCraft. But anyways,
I'll go-
guys, this is
I'll go
State
talk
of the
to Silver
Gathering
Craft.
podcast, episode 50, where we're talking about the good, the bad, or good riddance, shall we say, to
Yeah.
the RTR block. Because as of Monday, well, last Monday, this week's Monday, spoilers are officially being hit every day, just about. And oh my God, have we had spoilers?
Shh, don't spoil them.
I know.
We'll talk about them later.
Yeah,
you
we'll
have
talk
to
about-
wait, viewers.
Yeah.
You can't go to mythicspoilers.com and look.
Don't
No.
look this stuff up. What's wrong with you?
But we will talk about the RTR block, what we felt with it, what we, our loves, our hates. Goodbye Pekrat out of standard.
Let's troll why? I'm actually
Anyway.
playing a Volatile deck tomorrow, so.
All right, so let's go into our weeks as we per normally do. Brandon, how was your week? sir?
It was week like. I drafted on
You
Friday.
drafted?
Ooh.
It was the worst draft ever.
Ooh.
It wasn't actually though. So this is how I drafted like a pretty good green black deck.
Okay.
Obviously green and black. Like, it was actually a Convoke deck. So it was a pretty decent Convoke deck. Had like 4 Siege Worms and like a bunch of 2-drops. Had a couple of the one with that Toucher guys. So I felt like it was pretty good. Had a Hornet Queen.
Cool.
Pretty good there. So first match I played against Red White Bad Stuff. Now by this I mean he had like a bunch of auras and no Heliod's Pilgrims, and like no way to use them well. And, and there were the auras like Battle Mastery and Divine Favor, and I lost because that was pretty embarrassing. That was like I didn't draw lands game 1 and 3 on time, so I ended up losing. That was actually a big problem with the deck. Like I just didn't seem to draw lands in time. So
You didn't go greedy like me, did you?
no, I was playing 18.
Huh.
It was weird.
You need.
Yeah, I'd either be like color screwed or just in mana screwed in general. So I lost to him. And then the second guy I played was playing like a 5-color Walls deck because he wanted to play
Yes.
Sliver Hive Lord.
Walls.
And his strategy going into the draft was I'm gonna get all the Mind Sculpts because he wanted to draft Mill. And the guy he played round 1 did the exact same thing,
Oh
but
my
he
gosh.
actually got all the Mind Sculpts. It was the worst match of Magic I've ever seen. It was terrible.
Sounds like the best. What are you talking about?
The first game took like 40 minutes because the one guy, the person I didn't face, literally his only win condition was Mind Sculpt. So he just had to wait until he drew enough Mind Sculpts to mill. Like that's how the game ended. I was watching this because like we were done pretty quick. I was just like, this is wrong. I can't even believe what's happening. And then game 2, the guy I played won. And they ended up drawing, so I got paired up versus the guy I drew. And when we played, game 1, turn 5 Sliver Hive Lord, I'm almost 100% certain that if he hadn't drawn the island turn 5, I win that game. So I had him at like 2 life at one point, and he had the Jorbai Merklurker and was just gaining life with this big guy. So it was really close. That was actually a pretty decent game. Game 2 wasn't even close. When I was on the play, I just aired him out. Game 3 was the weirdest game I've drafted in this format by far. Like, he just played infinite walls. and had the black one that like gets a +1 counter whenever you gain life, and got Mark Lurker out, but then I revokered it. So it was like this really weird board state where he couldn't attack because I actually had real creatures, but I really couldn't attack because I couldn't get through his wall. Yeah, it was weird. He ended up drawing that Silver High Lord, and that card's really good. So I lost, and then we had a 9-person pod, so I got the buy around 3 and left. It was unexciting, but
it sounds like you were playing a lot of people that are subscribing to the Nan-Man way of magic of.
It's not though.
Walls and mill.
I respect Nan-Man way of magic because it actually has purpose.
There's more to it.
And like you actually have a direction that you're looking to go in. These are just like, I don't know, Mind Sculpt. I'm like, that card's bad. Why are you playing? They're like,
Yeah, why not?
Just, like, put stuff in your graveyard, and when you don't have any cards left in your library, you lose. Oh. So that was my week. It was interesting. We'll go with that.
All right, I'll go with it. Nan, what'd you do this week?
Worked.
Yeah, you didn't get to play Magic.
I didn't get to play Magic. I worked like
Why do we have you on this show?
another week of like 11-hour days.
There's Blistering Charm, obviously.
Of course.
But I'm currently actually assembling more decks. So
Go for some more modern.
Yeah, mono white night deck in modern.
Yeah, sweet.
And just like a mono red burn deck.
Yeah, I've decided
pretty
that Soul Sisters is human tribal.
Mm-hmm.
So you can build that now.
I'm excited because like after those two are done, then it's right onto the Soul Sisters.
Oh, okay.
None of these like I'm gonna make Pod, I'm gonna make Affinity. No, no tribals.
Oh,
Make those tribal decks. Have fun with these cheap budget decks.
Yeah.
I guess
What's a Merfolk deck cost nowadays?
not too much. I mean the Aether Vials are 25 a piece.
Mutavault 20.
But the Mutavaults, I have all the Mutavaults.
Yeah, you got them all.
I got them all for those, and yeah, they're about 20. They might drop down just a hair right after they rotate.
Yeah, maybe like 15 or something.
But that's not going to be much, really. So if you're looking about getting into any sort of tribal deck in Modern, I'd recommend either holding on to your Mutavaults. If you don't have them, pick them up right after they rotate. That's the best time to be grabbing them up. And then like with the Aether Vials, what's great with Modern is once you get like the pieces, like the fetch lands or the Aether Vials or whatever those pieces, you can make so many different decks with them. And I think a lot of people are going to start getting into Modern too after this round of Standard because of all the new exciting stuff in lands.
Tell them what?
No one knows.
Why would you spoil it?
Yeah, why would you spoil like that?
I'm just giving some.
No one reads spoilers. God,
nobody reads.
Cat up.
No.
And show everyone because it looks adorable.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
So my week consisted of just goofing off and building some decks.
Goofing off.
Yeah. Because the store was closed Monday because it was Labor Day. Woo! Partied outside, did some barbecuing, ate some barbecue. It was delicious.
I have a question.
Yeah.
By barbecue, do you mean smoking or like grilling?
Grilling.
Okay. It's different. Like different states call it different things, right? Like in the South, like if you barbecue something, you smoke it.
Yeah.
But if you grill something, then it's like over coals and stuff.
Right.
See, barbecuing goes for both for me. You'll hear me call it both. So.
Okay. It's weird. I don't know. It's just a question.
No, that's a good question actually.
But yeah, so did that. It was a good day. I would have played my Standard, and I would have probably played Control because that's what was built at the time. Mm-hmm. So this week though, we're coming with Yisan.
Yisan. That's right. It's Nissan.
Yeah.
You get to drive up in a car. That's actually the strategy. Your opponent sits down at the table. You go into the parking lot. You grab your car. You drive it through the store and hit them. Nissan. So, I win, right?
So that's gonna be coming this week. Modern is basically done. I got my elves and my affinity deck, so whatever I choose to play will get played. Tron is halfway there already. So
Yeah, we played Rug Scapeshift versus Tron for versus.
Interesting. How'd that work out?
Tron won.
Tron won.
Yeah. I feel like the matchup came down to who made more mistakes, and it just like it was me.
Was it red green Tron, or were you like mono blue Tron?
It was red green Tron.
Okay.
I did okay. So I have to talk about my worst punt. So
tell them about your punt, because
I was
this is probably
Scapeshift.
the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna say anything, but
casting Scapeshift, and I had 7 lands.
Yeah.
So I stacked all of them, went and got 2 Valakuts and a bunch of other lands. That doesn't work. You need 6 mountains.
You do.
It doesn't work. So I had 5 mountains, and I was like, "Why didn't I kill you?"
What just happened? Oh.
I almost won that game anyway.
Until I Emrakul, and you won't let me.
Yeah, Emrakul's pretty good, but yeah, I had to share that story with you of the Trick's punt.
You had to share it with our viewers too, because I'm sure our viewers will go watch that video and laugh hysterically at you.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I made some bad plays. That was certainly the worst one, though. When you win casting Scapeshift and then you actually don't win.
Yeah, like, oh, what just happened?
What happened?
I'm not gonna lie, it felt pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you should have taken 30 damage. Well, you should have taken 18.
Yeah.
Which is enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was embarrassing. Anyway, let's move on.
All right. So other than that, just prepping for events and all that stuff coming up. So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, pretty nonchalant week. Lots of spoilers. Been really happy with that.
Yeah, we're up to 63 now.
Yep.
You guys don't know any of them, though.
No one reads them.
No.
Shh. All right, so let's get into the news of the week, so we can then move into the goodbye RTR session, where we will cry, we will hold each other.
There's no thread test this time. I think I can keep it together.
Because I know you last time. You almost lost it when Thragtusk was leaving. So.
I don't know about almost lost it, but I wanted to play with Thragtusk more. See, I started playing standard Dragon's Maze, so I wasn't already sick of Thragtusk.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, this card's fun. I get a 5/3 and I gain life, and if it dies, I get a 3/3. What? That's so good.
It's all to win.
But yeah, didn't really go that way. You missed something.
No.
Okay. You
What?
did. Supposed to plug somebody.
I was gonna let you do it.
Me? Why? I'm bad at that.
Okay.
Okay. Guys, Card Hoarder, they make it all possible. At least for the Versus video specifically. But even, the show, we're going to be having some giveaways from them at some point. Because we did just get to 50 episodes. So, give some love to them. And if you ever do go to their site to get some online cards, this is specifically for online, let them know that we sent you. Makes them happy, makes us happy, and it lets us do more and more with our verses, and it also lets us give away more stuff. So it's just good for everyone. It's also just really good prices for the cards themselves. And if you have Twitter and you follow them, they have these things called flash sales, which is they'll tweet about, I don't know, like Snapcaster Mage or some unnamed cycle of lands that are coming up, and they'll be on sale until they're out of stock. So it's a good way to pick up some cheaper cards as well if you're trying to get into Magic Online.
Yep. And the other cool thing is they just partnered up with MTG Goldfish, which is it's like a pricing place, but they have decks built, like these people build decks.
No.
And you can actually hit buy now, and it'll send you to Card Hoarder's site, and you can buy the whole deck complete one shot. So it's actually kind of cool.
That's super convenient.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I'm like, wow, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's kind of weird, like if you already have some of the stuff.
Yeah.
But
well, you can actually just X out of the stuff you don't need. So
yeah, exactly. So it's still like super convenient.
Yeah. So other than that, pretty awesome. Thank you to Card Hoarder. You guys are awesome.
Such love.
Yeah, lots of love, especially with us getting into Modern. And I think, what are you feeling? Next week, some Legacy maybe?
I do like Legacy.
Maybe we will bring out some Legacy next week for
Play
versus.
Yeah,
High
pretty much until Standard rotates on Magic Online, we're gonna be
Yeah.
playing Modern Legacy. So
I think maybe we'll do some Legacy. I'll let you play some Elves, and I will bring out Miracles.
In
maybe.
fact,
in fact, you want me to play?
Tom
You know
Thomas.
what? I can't do it. You need to come and show us, man. You need to show us. In fact,
So
yeah. I've yet to get into the legacy side of the infect, but it's still just infect.
So
I mean,
speaking of Tom
show us
Ross, guys, can we
Yeah,
say
okay.
2-time Invitational champion?
pretty badass.
yeah, and I mean like that
boss.
jacket too.
Yeah. So all I gotta say is, if you guys follow Star City, they had their big Invitational in New Jersey this weekend. Tom Ross came in with his blue-green infect or green-blue infect deck and Rabble Red for standard.
Yep.
And that man, I saw him play, and I was like, "Holy Jesus!" He is brilliant, and I think I'm actually gonna I'm gonna shoot him a message because I guess he's really down to earth, and get him on the show. Talk
Also,
about it. So
if you watched his versus video versus Brad,
Yeah.
he has like that southern drawl.
yeah, he does.
Great.
So I'm gonna first talk about the Invitational.
Okay.
So Invitational, Tom Ross took first. Duke took second. Good job, Reed.
The Duke.
Pilot
I really wanted to
probably
win.
one of
Couldn't
the
beat the boss.
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite decks in standard, which was Green Red Devotion. He piloted, so it was pretty awesome to watch that get played.
It,
And
it
even
was,
cooler
it was
deck.
cool to see. You've gotten so used to seeing the other decks that
Yeah, it was
Red
nice to see a
Devotion
little
has kind of
spice.
fallen off a little bit there, so it was nice. Yeah.
And then we had a black-white mid-range, 2-mono blues, Anaya tokens, which was really cool to see.
Yeah, that's a very unorthodox deck that you don't expect, really.
Yep, blue-white
Whoa.
control and mono
Centaur
black.
healer.
Yeah, Centaur
Right?
healer.
Right?
Main board.
Yeah.
This is crazy. You're a psycho, Will Cruz.
So it was pretty awesome to watch. A lot of people have been blowing up Twitter about Rebel Red. I can tell you, I've done some dailies online. Rebel Red is just right now the deck to play. I did a daily this last week,
Mm-hmm.
and literally out of the 4 matchups, 3 were Rebel Red I played against.
Yeah, I don't actually think it's the deck to play. I think it's the deck that you just have a good sideboard versus and
Yeah.
you crush. Like this is the kind of deck like if you have the Farrakhan for your mono black deck, like if you have Farrakhan's Cures and
Drown in
the
Sorrow.
cheap, Drown in Sorrow and like Doom Blades and all that in
Blight.
your sideboard,
Yeah.
or whatever, your anti aggro cards, you're gonna crush them.
Yeah.
But people just aren't sideboarding for us, is it?
Yeah.
Enough? It is a deck that has the potential to beat you. Like they can take advantage of your waiting too long to use removal spells.
Yeah.
Versus deck, you just want to do it before combat. So stuff like that. Like if you let them attack, then they can Rebel Bolt Maka and save their guys. So it's pretty cool though. Like I mean, it's an interesting deck.
Yep.
And Tom just knows it so well. He's able to beat everyone with it.
Yeah. Then in Legacy, blue green in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Redo came out with blue, white, red
Mir-
miracles. So American miracles.
You mean French miracles?
Sure. 2 bug Delver decks. Bang bang. A Jund deck. 4 color Delver. Another miracles, same as Reed's. And Sneak and Show out of Jared Boucher.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
The deck I do, I think, honestly, if you guys watch it, it spoke truth. Tom Ross is he can pilot those decks so cleanly. I think that's why he won almost a lot of his matches. He just knows how to pilot it.
Yeah, this is his one of his consistent decks that he pilots.
Yeah.
When he plays Legacy is this infect deck that he runs there, and it's just so good. Let's be honest.
It's really strong and he runs it really well.
Yeah.
I imagine when Rebel Master was printed, he was like that one. That's the
Yeah.
one I want.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, rumor has it he's going on a sliver token, so
Well, I mean, he's already got a
it?
infect or a poison
yeah.
token.
Yeah, why not
so
like a
he
goblin?
might as
Let's-
well go to the next thing.
I mean,
Rumor has
a
it
place
we're going
slivers.
slivers. That's
I
kind
feel like
of
it should be on a goblin token. Everybody would use that instead of the Cedric Phillips one. And no, everybody already doesn't use the other guy's token. I don't remember who has one.
all right. So next thing I want to talk about is the regular open, and our man who was on the show, the bearded legend, actually took first place.
Yeah, off with the beard, man.
The beard is coming off this week. He's going to record it, he says. Mr. CVM, Chris Van Meter, John the Monsters takes first place.
Yeah,
So,
you disappoint me. You were supposed to say, off with his beard!
I'm sorry. So
I even wrote the joke for you.
I'm not even watching. So
What? You
I'm
didn't?
not, I don't
you never-
watch. I don't like you.
Go to the thing.
I
Do
don't
it.
have that up right now.
Yeah, I know you don't. Naman's not in there either. I do all this work and you guys don't even use it. Gosh.
Nope.
Anyway, John Monsters.
Yep. So John Monsters, he actually just wrote his article this week about how he was going through like what he wanted or what he was trying to do. You know, he wasn't sure what he was going to play. He was looking at like Rebel Red. He was looking at all these other decks, and he finally just said, "You know what?
Screw it.
Screw it. I'm going with the one I've known."
Four
it's so solid.
This is actually just the same deck.
It is,
Yeah.
and he talks about how he cut things and just stuck Rebel Master into it.
And it
except
makes
for-
sense. Like,
Ooh. Yeah, Goblin Rebel Master.
Yeah,
put a
and he
four
said
up.
it was
It's
like the best card in the deck, one of the best cards.
Call it John Rebel Monsters.
yes, Rabbling monster.
So,
I like
and then
it.
of course Mono Black took second. Green White. He talked about a lot of his matchups and how he missed a few things, and he had a few punts, but he still ended up making out very well. We had a blue
I was
green.
gonna say, like, so Chris winning with John Monsters, like a deck that isn't even great in the metagame right now,
Yeah.
just really proves that this standard format's less about playing the best deck and more about playing your deck really well.
Yeah,
Yes.
it honestly is.
Yeah, so if you want something that's a little more, like, if you guys have liked this format like that, and I don't mean the stagnancy of Mono Black being the best deck all the time, but, like, being able to play one deck the entire time and just get really good with it, then you should try Eternal formats, because that's exactly what they are.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's the honest truth.
mean,
Not
Tom
much,
Russell
I'm not
proved it
actually
too.
going to talk much about the rest of the finishers.
Well, there is... Oh, this is Black-Green Devotion, not
Yeah,
Black-Green.
it's just Black Green Devotion.
Never mind.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, though. The black deck that did well is the green one. It's kind of been falling off.
So other than that,
Whoa, we need to stop. Go to 12th.
the auras.
Blue-white auras list. Yeah. Why would you not just... Yeah, obviously this is sweet. This is not hexproof, everyone.
No,
this
this
is
is straight
technically
auras.
God's Pilgrim in it. And Miletus Astronomer. This
That's
is
pretty sweet. I like this. I
yeah.
like this.
It is a auras deck through and through.
That is.
So I mean, that's all you can really say about it. It's enchantment creatures and hero of Erois. Latch it on to Fiendslayer Paladin and go.
Yeah. Miletus Astronomer.
Yeah.
Or Soldier with his pants on.
There's no soldier with his pants on. He's in the sideboard.
Sideboard. You didn't even know. There's also a Flick Sneeze Ram.
Post rotation.
Oh god, Nyx Fleece Ram. Ugh.
No, it's Flick Sneeze Ram.
Excuse
I kept getting it wrong. I've just like decided that it's actually called Flick Sneeze Ram.
That's what he shall be from now on.
But
It's
what
the
I do want to
same.
talk about is a little bit
Honor.
of no, I want to go into Legacy first.
Legacy.
Because
Fine.
there's something that just popped its head out, and I have not seen it in a little while, is Elves topping... I mean, we've seen a top 16 out of Elves, but Elves with Ross Merriman, he's been playing Elves forever, took
Elves hasn't-
second. We have a 12th, we have a 14th. So Elves making a pretty large comeback down in New Jersey. The big other one was... if I remember correctly, wasn't it Stoneblade was the other one that was the surprise?
I don't think Stoneblood's a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, we always seem to see some sort of stuff.
They're
like that.
usually in the top few.
Yeah. I mean, there's a Esper, there's Bant, like
Yeah,
There's a Red Ring Depth deck, which is a little interesting. Oh, this is just lands. Okay.
it's lands. It's all it is.
Dude, lands is sweet.
Lands is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you ever want to make a giant 2020 flying indestructible token? This is the deck.
Yep.
Dark Dust, baby. Oh, it's got Tabernacle.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And
it's
4
actually
gambles? Yeah.
it's actually pretty cool.
This deck's sweet.
It's lands, but it's a pricey lands deck. Let's put it that way.
Pretty sure all lands decks are pricey. What's Punishing Fire? That's an uncommon? Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
$1. Grove is the expensive part of that combo.
You think?
Yeah, I'm certain that it is, actually.
You think?
Yes. Anyway, I do want to say I don't think Elves has really been on any kind of downturn. It just like hasn't been winning everything.
Well, 'cause,
Yeah.
But there was like 3 weeks ago or whatever, there were like 4 Elves decks in the top 8.
it's like they make a little resurgence, and then you'll see them get knocked back.
Yeah, that's
So.
pretty normal for Legacy.
Yeah.
What's interesting is there's only one Delver deck.
Which I'm happy to see. I think people are finally starting to take notice of Delver and trying to
Oh, no,
sideboard
there's
against it. So
There's a blue-red and a blue-red list on the
Yeah.
top 8, which is fine. Kind of sad. I think my favorite deck in Legacy right now is Shardless Bug. I'm like done running the top 8.
okay.
Charlotte's is really great in general. So
It's just like a good solid deck. If you want to learn a deck for Legacy and have obviously infinite dollars, that's a good place.
That's a good place to start right there.
Yeah, it's a good place to start off your Legacy. It's only like $6,000.
now, like Namman was saying, he wanted to talk about Modern. Let's talk about Modern, because this is where we got our deck list from for our Versus video.
It's also
Yeah.
really cool to say before we get into like the decks themselves.
Yeah,
Is to see kind of the metagame in each area.
it is.
Like with New Jersey, there was a lot of Scape Shift decks making it in the top.
Holy God, there's a ton of Scape Shift. So Rug Scape Shift takes first place, followed by a America Control.
French.
Then the green-red Tron deck, which I played.
Yep.
We had a Rug Twin deck. The only big green-black mid-range deck was at 5th. Then you had another Scape Shift at 6, another American Control at 7, and there's Malira Pod sitting at 8. That's pretty impressive
Yeah.
to see no other pod deck in the top 8.
I think Pod's actually just like on the downturn right now. I don't even think it's the best deck anymore. Like I think the Black Green X decks are better.
Could be.
Specifically, like Junk is pretty good at dealing with Pod because they have good sideboard cards against it, and stuff like Souls is just really good in almost every other matchup. So I think like it's kind of interesting there. And then like Black Green Midrange also has a decent matchup versus Pod, and Jund is actually I think favorable versus Pod. Like with Anger of the Gods and Olivia, you just get this really good matchup. So that deck's kind of taking over because it doesn't have any bad matchups, but it has a few really good ones. And post sideboard, I think you can go toe to toe with any deck. So it's standard Jund where you're just like super consistent and strong.
Yeah. I was actually really surprised to see a
So I
Living
built-
End deck in the top 16.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it's a solid deck. Like
Oh, yeah.
as decks go,
I mean,
and I
I've
think a
seen it
lot of
once.
people.
I've seen it once at my store, and then the guy just got rid of it. He was
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I mean, I think the nice thing with Living End is it can catch a lot of people off guard, especially now when you don't really have much sideboard wise against it, because it's kind of fallen out of favor, and it's one of those decks that's a competitive deck that you don't see as often. So you're like, well, I'm seeing Pod a lot, I'm seeing Scape Shift a lot in my meta kind of thing, and I guess I need to really make sure I've got some of that. And I think every modern deck has affinity stuff in their sideboard. They'd be silly not to. So it's like you don't really have much room in your sideboard left for stuff against Living End. So I think it's a nice
because
little.
Affinity still gets a lot of hate. I'm not gonna lie, I've played it online a few times. It gets hate. It's like, oh, I got my Infinity deck. They're like, oh,
Ancient
well,
Grudge.
game 2, Ancient Grudge, or oh look, Stony Silence. Enjoy.
Yep. And
I
I
think.
think
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna like with this guy getting 15th with it. It's another kind of aspect that we've been talking about too. Is like knowing your deck and being able to pilot it just well in general, and knowing kind of the ins and outs of different matchups and having a lot of practice. So, yeah.
Also,
that's looking in.
Street Wraith. I was gonna say the reason I think living in it was pretty good, and then Scavenging Ooze was printed for Modern, and like all the black green decks just play it.
Yeah.
So it turns like into this matchup where you have hate cards main board and the really powerful hate cards. Like you can Living Death to kill their Scavenging Ooze, but your Scooze is already eaten the graveyard. So it's like it just stops you from getting the graveyard you need to Living Death for victory. So you need to be able to deal with their Scavenging Ooze and then Living End.
Yep.
So it seems kind of difficult there. I think maybe that's the reason it's not as prominent as it was, because by my understanding it was a pretty decent deck. So that's kind of cool that it made it. I think it's even got like some cards main deck to deal with that, like Dismember's main board and 3 Beast Within. Like those are cards that obviously go well with the deck, but I'm not sure if they were playing them before or not. I don't actually know this deck well enough. Like Shriek Maw, another card that can deal with Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
Specifically.
So let's get into the community the community cup, because I want to get into the news now. I want to talk about.
Okay.
Is there nothing else?
I guess we're done. We're done with Modern.
Nah, man. This is like an Infect deck. Yeah, man.
Speak about Modern. I know. I don't know. I like seeing the decks that it was, because we were seeing a lot more of the more straightforward sort of decks, like the Black X decks, kind of like the Junks and stuff like that in the last couple of cities, and it was really cool to see New Jersey be that sort of shake up there. And
New Jersey's always had a lot of interesting decks, though. If you look at the tournaments that have been there.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy we got to see a nice mix, and even too looking at the top 8, there's still those consistent decks that you're expecting to see there, like the Twin deck. Okay, that's just all around win with Twin. The Control being up there in second was cool to see, with the style that he had, because his blue white red Control did have like the 4 of Geist main board and stuff like that, which is always fun to see, sort of that aggro aspect to the Control.
This is the tempo deck. Right, this is like one that plays Thunderball and Resto Angels and clicks and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
the one there, and it's cool to see these other decks pop up, and you're also with the Infect decks that you're starting to see is, yes, you're seeing a few more pop up, like the mono green and this, that, and the other thing, but you're seeing a lot more of just the blue green be the most consistent placing, which I haven't switched over to just blue green as of yet, because I have a hard time giving up 4 of my creatures and my removal, because like
are you on Bug?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Bug. So Abrupt Decay is so good, especially if I'm fighting something like running into Blood Moons, if I'm running into Liliana and stuff. So I have a hard time getting rid of it. But just having 2 colors, you can be so much more straightforward with how you play it, and that's why you're seeing kind of the blue-green versions placing a lot higher than the Bug versions with at least.
This Infect deck is actually banned.
Yeah.
It's got Rest in Peace and Stony Silence in the sideboard. Like, it's not a lot of white, but there's some there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, just his one of Temple and his lands, and he has the Paradise.
He's got the Misties and the Verdants to go get it. So.
Right. He's got all the option. Then because you got Noble, so you have 4 of Noble, that gives you a white with that there. So
yeah, I mean, like, what is it? Just 13 white sources. That's plenty.
Yeah.
I do like the Path to Exile in his sideboard for his.
Okay, he's got that too. Yeah. And Triton Tactics. That's cute. I have a question. So, in light of recent announcements about certain lands that are being printed for Modern, do you think that the 3-color decks will get better? Because, like, for this deck, or does it even matter at that point?
It doesn't matter. Like, with the way that things are already working with fetch lands that we have, we can get any land anyway. Like, having any other fetch lands, whatever colors, it doesn't matter. We've already got fetch lands. We can always get lands. It's the fetches aren't gonna really
I think
change.
I think all that matters now is those fetch lands just make it more accessible. So
Yeah.
people don't have to blow a ton of money on the Zendy fetches when they can just
Well, yeah, okay. I was gonna try to keep it going, but I just don't care anymore.
my buddy is so mad though. I've got to say that since he just spent a bunch of money on
Oh yeah.
building a storm deck and getting all these lands. I mean, this was
I guess to get more.
like 4 or 5 months ago when he built this deck.
Oh.
But now that this stuff has come out, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm like,
Listen, I went and got stuff like 2 weeks ago, and I almost picked up the rest of the fetch lands that I needed, so I could be angry. Yeah, that's not bad. I kind of understood there was always the chance of that, but yeah, that's cool. I don't really see anything else here I care about. There's like 2 more pod decks. And
Nope.
I don't know. It's been pretty straightforward.
So community news, Community Cup. That is next weekend. This weekend or next?
Is it?
It's next weekend.
I don't think it's yet. Yeah.
Next weekend. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the name.
Oh, which one?
The person
Dalagor Trinka? Oh,
Yeah.
what? What is it? I think they forgot some
no, I think
vowels.
that's the name. Had to bow
Wait,
out
this-
due
no,
to
no, no.
personal reasons.
This name has 1 vowel in it. It's at the end. This doesn't make any sense. TRNKA is not a word. I don't care how you how you spin that. That's not right.
Well, it just one player had to bow out, and Aaron Campbell from the Deck Tees, I've actually listened to that podcast before, is going to be jumping into place. So
Okay.
I think that's pretty awesome. I know Day 9 and Tom Ross are there.
Oh.
Oh, that's
I
right.
think I'm pretty sure Tom Ross did say that in his interview he's pretty much going to be that guy that's going to just help them build decks so they can win.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So-
he's like a really good deck builder.
Yeah.
I also like if you read his articles on the Select side, which I mean at this point it's premium content, you can actually just learn Rabble Red.
Mhm.
He has the entire deck list broken down, every single card talked about,
Yep.
like and why it's there, what it's good for, when you should be using it, and complete sideboard cards for almost every single matchup in Standard. So yeah, I could see that's something that he would be very good at.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
I think the community has a good chance at winning. From
The community usually wins.
we're hoping the community wins this time.
They always win.
No, well, last time they won, but
Yeah.
the time before that they lost.
Yeah,
Did they really?
It's been like an
Yeah.
every other year thing.
It's surprisingly
I
been
think
kind of close.
That community almost always win because they
No.
usually
They-
have like 2 or 3 pros on there and they just like crush
They do,
everyone.
but they also the pros have trouble too with some of the flavor aspects.
Yeah.
Where they do like a flavor restriction where it's like, here's the cards that you have
Well,
to.
this
kind of-
year it's like Iron Chef
Oh.
they're doing, which is
yeah,
the
chef stuff is so much
yeah,
fun.
that one's a lot of fun. I know they were doing a vote on what they should be doing a sealed or draft in, and I think it was
You're
8th
doing a
edition.
Vintage Monsters draft
Yeah,
with the
vintage.
actual cards.
Yep.
Oh, I want to do that. I want to do so bad. Can I go draft with them?
No.
That'd be so much
other than
fun.
that, we'll talk about that next week because I'm
Sure.
sure they're going to do a big article on it. So we'll talk a lot more about Community Cup next week. Top 25 rankings, nothing has changed.
Yeah, there was nothing. So
we'll
it's
move on.
still Desani, Owen, Turtenwald, then Reed, then Willie.
Yep.
It's so funny. Team Peach Garden Oath, which is apparently a card. Didn't know that. They're 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
That's really funny.
And then the Khans of Tarkir or promos for the intro decks
Yeah, of the intro decks.
have been released. So we have the Ankle Shanker,
Sweet name, by the way.
yep, Avalanche Tusker, Ivory
That's sweet.
Tusk Fortress, Rakesh Vizir, and
Okay,
Sage of the
Rakshasa Vizier.
Inner, whatever, and Sage of the
Rakshasa.
Inward Eye.
Okay, you need to learn Rakshasa because it's going to be
Rakshasa,
important.
how about that?
Rakshasa, yeah. Go play Diablo if you need to learn it more.
Okay.
They're in
And
the.
so those are going to be the intro pack rares. And launch is going to be the Dragon Throne of Tarkir, which is the legendary artifact. So, yeehaw.
Sounds really.
The artwork's pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we haven't actually talked about this card at all. I think it's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Like, this is a card I'll throw on Commander decks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, easy peasy.
And then the game day, Hair of the Winds is a human warrior with Death Touch. 2/2 for 2, and it's got Ferocious. Whenever the Hair attacks, if you control a creature with the power 4 or greater, it gets a 1/1 until end of turn.
Did you say Hair of the Winds or Air of
He
the
said
Winds?
Air of the Wilds. Sorry.
Okay. It's like,
I'm actually a fan of the next one. If you get to the top 8, the other end, the artwork's just pretty cool.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree. This card looks sweet.
Yeah, it's just awesome. And the playmat's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, the playmat is the only con we don't know about yet. I really feel like something about this guy is going to be super important. Like, he's a character from a different plane or something. Or maybe not that, but, like, he's been mentioned before. Because they are guarding him. Like, they just won't tell us anything about him other than he punches bears.
Yep, he punches bears. He's a bear puncher.
He's a bear puncher, which is awesome.
Like, why are they hiding the rug guy so much?
And then the buy box is going to be Rattleclaw Mystic. So it's another, it's the morph one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad carried.
Yeah. So
Well,
other than that, so far pretty cool. Let's get into the goodbye or good riddance, depending on your feeling, of RTR.
Good riddance.
Okay, we'll do that first. So,
I want to leave all the fetches and all the spoilers to the end.
What fetches?
I don't know.
What fetches? What's a
All
fetch?
right, so I'm gonna go around, and the way I see this happening is we basically just talk about how we felt the block went as a whole.
Okay.
So, and we're gonna keep it to like 5 minutes or less per person.
For the whole thing?
No, per person.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then we'll talk about certain cards and stuff like that. So
Sure.
So Brendan, how did you feel the RTR block went?
So I feel RTR. Okay, so for the first bit where we had Return to Ravnica, we had Innistrad as well, which I think was just bar none like the best set ever.
Yeah.
I think most people agree that even in draft and constructed both, it's just been the best set of Magic ever printed. So it was kind of overshadowed at that point. It was a little less powerful than Innistrad, but the mechanics and everything also just weren't as fun. They also had 10 different mechanics. It was a little confusing there, but that's not really the point. So it was kind of overshadowed there, and then we moved on from that to the current format we're in now, which has been really stagnant. And the reason is because the plants in RTR were like too good for devotion.
Yeah.
So we started Veil Spectre, which is a triple devotion enabler, but it's also just a really good card. And because everyone's playing mirror decks, it ends up just being insane. And stuff like that and Pack Rat are just going to leave like this bad taste in everyone's mouth.
Yeah.
But actually, I think the block as a whole is pretty good. Like, the flavor-wise, I don't think the draft format was great, but it has some really cool cards in it. So even some color combinations that don't get very much love, like Simic specifically, got some actual good cards printed.
Yep.
So it was something that I think a lot of people took granted for because the two sets that didn't either overpowered it or made it not very good for a standard format. I think it also suffered from just weird design, having to have 10 different mechanics, like 10 very distinct clans or whatever they were, guilds.
Yep.
Guilds.
Makes it really difficult to make them all mesh well. And I think there were some issues where, some of the mechanics were playable, some of them were just awful. And it ended up being, these are the good clans or the good guilds, and these are the ones you can play, and these are the ones you just can't. Yeah. So it ended up being really weird. As a whole, like the flavor of RTR I really like, but I think the execution could have used some work. That said, I don't think it ruined the RTR charm or original Ravnica, because I think a lot of people like that block.
Yep.
It brought back Shocklands, which is really nice for anyone trying to get into Modern. Some pretty sweet cards were printed, like Voice of Resurgence. I don't think anybody's going to disagree. That's a sweet card.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna butt in for 2 seconds. They
Sure.
even said Voice of Resurgence. They oops on that.
Oh yeah,
once.
way too good. But like, it's
So.
sweet.
Yeah, it's still an awesome card.
Yeah, it warped Standard, which is a problem, but it's like played in Modern, in Blood 1 deck, 2 decks I think maybe.
Hate Bears
I think
and
Bears and
Pod.
Pod.
And Pod,
Yeah.
that's-
So it's kind of in that weird place where it was more powerful in the Standard format, respectively, than it was in Modern.
Yep.
Compared like how good it was in Standard, so that's kind of weird. The other flaw with this set was Azorius in the first set. It was too good. Sphinx's Revelation was a mistake. I don't think the card itself, like what it did, was too good. It just needed to be more expensive. I think like it should have been 1 white blue X, and maybe it would have been a little better then, or like a little less oppressive. But it was kind of just like it just took over, man.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like if you're playing Control, you had to be playing blue white because there's just no reason to play Control without it. So it was a little stifling. And I think the last problem was Pack Rat. The card's silly. And it's so funny. Like, it saw no play last Standard, but it in this Standard.
Because last Standard you had Innistrad sitting in there, which
Yeah.
you had Thragtusk, you had.
You have
So
those.
here's the question.
Jund decks.
Sorry, go ahead, Nick. What was that?
No, I was just saying you had those Jund decks.
that were really powerful.
Or
Yeah.
Naya decks even were stupidly powerful because of voice. Voice
Sure.
is your answer, like Jace player in there said to Snapcaster. It was like, oh, that's cute. Snapcaster? Nope.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the problem is, like, I don't think any of those problems were the one thing that solves Pack Rat. Like, maybe we should have just been playing Pack Rat last Standard. I can't put my finger on what it is that stopped it from being insane. Like, I can't imagine that just nobody tried it. Because it was so good in draft. Like, somebody must...
Well, what do you think, Lynn? Like, in, like, maybe a Golgari-style deck, last Standard, do you think that would have been, like, a place to thrive?
Like, because we had those black-green mid-range decks with, like, Thragtusk and, was that one where you sack a creature and draw a bunch of cards and get a bunch of life?
The Disciple of Bolus.
Yeah, have you ever seen a Pack Rat where
deck.
someone draws, like, 5 cards?
Yeah,
It's
like,
insane. Like, that
I
was
like the rock
really
deck
good.
last Standard. I thought it was really cool. But
I thought it was cool, too.
I think it just there's. I'm gonna say I think there's just too many other good cards
Okay.
that
The
Pack Rat just.
format
It was like I'm trying to find the card because there's a few of them that really kind of showed up after Innistrad rotated. I guess, like you said, Nightveil Spectre. It's a solid card when it was printed,
I don't think it was.
but you look at it now and it's
Oh, yeah, it's insane right now.
yeah.
The thing is, like, Nightveil Spectre is really good because it enables... it enables Devotion really well, and it's good in the mirror.
Yep.
Like, if I'm not in the mirror matchup, I won't Lifebane Zombie anymore.
Yep.
But because of its mirror matchup, like, it's obviously really good in blue. But it's also really good if there's a lot of mono blackout. So that's what I saw that card being good. Not just like its power level was low last Standard, but it got way better. I don't think Pack Rat's power level was low. I mean, like, look, I'm not arguing that it should have been. I'm just wondering why wasn't it?
Sure.
Like, what was it? If anyone knows, like, even if you're in the chat or whatever, and you have an opinion here, I'd love to hear it because it's something I've been thinking about. We're even seeing the card played a lot in Modern, which unarguably is a much more powerful format than the last, like, Innistrad
Sure.
plus RTR. So I don't think it was even the power level of the format. And like, Modern is faster
As we
than
talk
that
about it
format,
tonight,
too.
because I mean we got another 45 minutes to talk about all this.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, man. What do you feel?
yeah, good.
I don't know. I thought Brandon made some really good points about
Thank you.
one of the things that you kept saying is how, like, oh, this card was kind of dominating the format. This card was sort of dominating the Standard. And that seemed to kind of be the story of the Ravnica block. As they'd have these sort of cards, like you said, Sphinx's Revelation, Voice of Resurgence, were so good last Standard. And then now it's like Pack Rat kind of dominating this Standard. That
Blood
like these,
Baron, this one.
right, Blood Baron, like these cards that we're seeing just sort of be the main focus point. But as a whole, the RTR stuff, 10 of 10 for flavor, I say.
Sure. Yeah.
It had all the flavor that I wanted, and then some.
I'm gonna go 9.
You think 9? So
Yeah,
what was it?
it's like
What was it
Innistrad,
lacking?
the gothic horror
I
theme.
get okay. If you
was
go,
so-
yeah, I can see that. The
You know
whole
what? Yeah, I'll
Gothic
give-
theme
yeah.
to it.
You know what I'll do? I'll give RTR 10. I'll give Innistrad 11.
There you go. I like that. I like that. But yeah, it's like the RTR block as a revisiting of a previous set. They did a pretty good job. They had a lot of constraints that you could see with, like, we don't want to print the same lands.
No.
Because they are going to be too good. You know, even with like the artifacts or whatever, you tap and get 2 mana out of them, kind of thing. Like
Sure.
those
Signets.
good right now. Yeah, thank you, the signets. So they printed like the key runes, which I like the key runes as a concept. Like artifacts tap for mana to help with the
Cool, yeah.
mana fixing. They can turn into dudes. You know, fun for the limited style of it. The clue stones. I don't know. Like that was.
Kind of lame. Yeah.
It was, especially in Dragon Maze, like where it's to kind of encompass and collect everything together, tie in all the guilds, kind of thing. Like I was expecting something better than that. Like so, I felt like Dragon Maze sort of fell short as a tie-in set.
It's
that it
probably
was
going to go
supposed
down.
be.
Honestly, Dragon's Maze is probably going to go down as one of the worst sets in history.
Oh, it was not good.
Yeah.
So
To draft.
Now,
to play standard, yeah.
well, the draft aspect of it, I like the idea that they added in those cards that were like, oh, if you control a guild gate, you get this, this, and this. Like that, I like that concept that they tried to add in there, and you know, tried to add a little bit more variety to the drafting. Than like, it was interesting to see the drafting in RTR and drafting in Gate Crash and stuff like that, and just how quick and aggro style it was in Gate Crash and everything like that, and so. I like to see that kind of variety with the drafting between RTR, that there was so much variety.
yeah,
And even with the decks that people could construct because of all of the dual colors and all the 3-color decks in Standard, I really enjoyed a lot. I think they might have overcompensated after that with the Theros block pushing that monocolored so much that it really kind of helped to promote those devotion decks to take over. But you know, it's one of those things where you can't really predict that going into things when you're doing all the design and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm just gotta say I'm sad that Maze End is leaving Standard because
you can always build it in Modern.
it's not good in Modern.
It is good in Modern.
No, it's not.
I will-
You are
I will
mistaken.
It's
You are
it's
mistaken.
just not.
I
Okay?
approve you.
Having your amulets to make your stuff enter untapped is great and all,
It's
but it's
so the
still
deck
too
does.
slow.
It's not even good then. It's like I played this amulet
yeah,
to
so
make my
turn
lands
2,
as good as
you-
shock lands.
Exactly. Turn 2, you play the amulet,
Uh,
and then there you can play your turn 2 land untapped. Sweet.
I will
but
tell
you're
you,
still too
it's
slow.
still good.
it's
It's good.
What
it's
decks
not.
have you been able to beat with it? I'm curious.
Almost all of them.
see that was Pat's go-to answer for absolutely nothing. He's just trying
I'm
to
not-
prove his point right now.
I'm going to bypass that. So I'm going to go into it. I think RTR is a block since I've been playing for so long. Like you guys said, RTR is a block. I'm going to give like 9 out of 10. It really kind of, like they
So,
said,
wait,
it
you
just
say 9 out of 10 just overall is just pure voting, or
overall
just-
as just a great block. I think
Okay.
they did what they had to do because Innistrad was so strong. But even if you look at Innistrad, Avacyn just sucked. And I think honestly, Dragon's Maze was the same way. Because I remember drafting a lot of RTR and Gate Crash together, and that was a lot of fun. But once you added like Dragon's Maze into the mix, I wanted to put a gun to my head. So I get Dragon's Maze. I opened actually 2 boxes of Dragon's Maze as presents to me, and it's fine. But when I go through the whole block, as you know, what cards I'll always remember. I got 2 cards out of Dragon's Maze, which was Dirty Old Dad and Blood Baron.
No, voice.
Voice? Oh, I guess 3. Okay, voice.
I thought it was gonna be voice and some other card that I'll forget instantly.
But those are the 3 really that made their appearance. Blood Baron always being just a really good card. Dirty Old Dad just being that card that everyone would swear at you for, because you'd play it and then you'd be like, I can't get rid of this thing.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Dirty Old Dad is opposite odd.
Then
not everyone speaks your weird lingo.
Sorry. So then, I mean, you look at it and you go, okay, what we got out of Gate Crash, and Gate Crash was awesome. I mean, Dalmaray was by far one of my favorite planeswalkers to play with. He was cheap and he was just super strong. You know, you could come out into the battlefield and be like, oh, I'm going to fight my Thrag... At the time when it was with the Innistrad, I'm going to fight my Thragtusk with something or do whatever. And it was good. And I mean, Gatecrash had a lot of solid players in there. That made a bigger appearance, I guess you could say, after the rotation, but they were there. And then RTR, I mean, God help us. I mean, Supreme Verdict, really? 4 mana, uncounterable, I'm just going to wipe the board of everything. Yeah, I'll take that. Shocks all day long throughout the set, yeah. Oh, well, I think they did a really good job. They made a really powerful set which had to match wits with the Innistrad block for a while, because Innistrad was so strong as is. And M13 was one of the better core sets. So.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Which one? Innistrad?
Yeah.
What about
Innistrad and core set M13 were just good.
Yeah.
And then I think, honestly, like we all know, the World Designer kind of got canned after Return. So I guess the plan wasn't all set. But Return itself I think they had to make Return pretty strong, because of the Innistrad block. You couldn't had just a weak set, because it would have been Innistrad, and then after Innistrad rotates, you're gonna be like, crap, what do we do?
Yeah.
I think M14 will kind of... I'm not going to go too far into that, but I think M14...
Oh, yeah. There's another block.
Yeah.
Or another set. M14 was not fun.
No, it was not a fun draftable set. I mean, I got a few good cards out of it, like Arcane.
Oh, no, I like drafting it. I just thought it was a bad set. Like, Lifebane Zombie and Tidebinder Mage are 2 of the biggest mistakes to come out of Wizards of the Coast in a long time. Those cards are terrible.
I don't know. Voice, still to date. Wizards is like, yeah, we oopsed on that one, guys. Sorry.
Voice of Resurgence is not main deckable hate for specifically green.
Yeah.
The 2 main deckable hate cards both hated on green.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why do you hate me?
I like to turn things sideways, and you guys all know, if you guys have watched the podcast for 50 episodes, I am a guy that likes to put my arm down and literally turn shit sideways. And I can't do that when you have things like Tidebinder Mage and Lifebane Zombie out there, because you take away all my turn things sideways stuff. So
it's like they print this sweet creature in Polychronos, and then they print a bunch of stuff that just gets rid of him.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they print a bunch of stuff that gets rid of him, and then they print the sweet green creature.
Yeah, thank you,
but
Just
come
for
on!
stopping by.
I want to play with my 5/5 for 4 mana that has a monstrosity ability.
Right?
It's freaking awesome.
Too much to ask. That card's sweet. Nobody even thought it was good.
I thought it was amazing, but I turn shit sideways.
There was a lot of people who thought Polychronos was awful when it came out. They're just like, oh, it's just a beater. Like, yeah, I remember this. Like on the Star City in STG Opens I was watching, they'd be like, yeah, we're spoiling this Polychronos. You just see Patrick Sullivan. He's like, it's just a big dude. I'm like, you're kidding, right? It's a big dude that.
What's gonna be funny when P. Sullivan comes on? We'll have to call him out on it.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't care.
Yeah, I don't care. He's
It's
awesome.
like,
Like I said,
here's
I
the
met
thing.
him.
Here's the thing. I'm not blaming them or like saying that they're bad because of it. Because
No.
there's so many cards, and to see them for like 5 seconds and then make an opinion,
Yeah.
it's the same thing that we do.
Yeah.
We get like 3/4 of these wrong. We're like, yeah, this seems really good for constructed. Didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Was it Master Waves? We all called it bad, and it was like one of the best cards in the set.
I said it could go either way.
Yeah, I mean that's just not having an opinion. Nanman and I
Yeah.
called it bad.
I did. I'll admit it.
No, my
I'll
opinion.
admit it.
At least we committed.
I look at, like I say, I go look at the return block, and yeah, I'm gonna be sad to see it go because I do enjoy my shock lands, and I enjoy having just the ability to go. Well, I need to run this many colors. Okay, I got a few temples. I got some shocks. I'm good. I feel really good right now.
Yeah.
And now that set's gonna go away, and we're going into a 3-color set with fetches, which
No.
is,
Shh.
oh, sorry, I forgot. There's no
With
fetches.
other lands.
With
Well,
other.
don't say that. Now you're just backing up too much.
Okay.
It's gonna be
All right.
obvious.
There's
that
other
it's-
lands, tricolor lands and all that.
Yeah.
And some new tri-lands. I look at that and I go, okay, well, Cons has a big shoes to fill, but we also have, you got to remember, a new standard that's going to be coming out, and that once Cons basically becomes the sole set, we get that full new rotation kind of kicking in.
Yeah, it should kick in right away, right? As
Yeah.
soon as like once Cons rotates in, it's only legal for 18 months.
Yeah.
So that's pretty sweet. I'm really excited for that. I'm not gonna lie. That's just sweet. This is like the only announcement was just made in a long time where everyone's like, yes, fist pump.
Well, I look at it, and this is a tangent, guys. I do apologize. I look at it as,
expect tangents. Like.
yeah. Well, if you watch the show, you expect tangents all the time. I look at the 18-month. A lot of people are like complaining that they're like, "Oh my God, you're going to make standard so much more expensive." And I'm like, it's not. You're making it more expensive. You're just they're making it so.
No, it's more expensive.
Well, they're making it so it's not going to be 24 months of mono black. Yeah,
I mean, no.
You can hear it in people when they're calling out decks or talking about decks. It's like, oh God, I have mono black here. Huh. Yep. Well, we all know about that deck, and we're gonna move on. So I mean, it's one of those things, and I think when going back and looking at the set with RTR, I mean, we had Desecration Demon in there, phenomenal black card. I mean, a 4-drop 6/6. It's a little with flying, let alone, and you're like, oh God, that card's kind of ridiculous. I mean, you look at, I played against it a lot, being a green player for a while in there, and I had to sack a lot of creatures to Desecration Demon to get things through. And I'm with Brandon. I'm still, like, I get Mutilate was in the set because of M13.
You're making what are we talking about?
Pack Rat
I
now.
forgot.
Pack
Pack
Rat.
Rat now?
Yeah, I'm going back to
Okay.
Pack Rat.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going
I
back
didn't know
around-
that.
We're going back around to Pack Rat.
Okay.
So, and why Pack Rat wasn't played in RTR?
Oh, Mutilate?
Yeah,
saying that's
Mutilate.
reason?
I think
That's
Mutilate
reasonable.
was a big reason.
Yeah, there weren't that many swamps. If Mutilate were in the format, the mono black deck would just play it.
Oh God, it'd be disgusting.
I don't know if Mutilate's a big reason for what wasn't there. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just like so much detention sphere.
Yeah, D-Sphere is a good thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another card we're losing is D-Sphere.
I am kind of sad to see D-Sphere go.
D-Sphere's,
I like D-Sphere.
but flavor-wise, they got it right. There's a lot of cards I can see
Yeah.
trying to make an appearance in Modern. And I will say trying.
Flavor has nothing to do with modern.
No. But I just say,
It's
I mean,
like
Pack
best
Rat's already...
creature format is a green creature that cares about the graveyard.
I'm saying Pack Rat will definitely... He's already there, and he's going to stay there.
Oh, in modern?
Yeah.
Yeah. He seems pretty good.
He's pretty awesome.
It's a 2-drop that can win the game for you.
Yeah.
sounds like something else we know. That was printed much less. It's green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard people even saying like, "Oh my god, we need to go buy all the pack rats right now." You really don't.
Yeah.
You can
No,
wait.
they're still gonna be like, they're not gonna go skyrocketing up.
They're gonna be $1 as soon as they rotate.
I think that's a good topic to talk about. Is cards worth picking up?
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I know my list. My 3. I'm gonna put is number 1 any Shockland.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean
that.
that's a given. That's
Yeah.
We can all
Duh.
agree that's pretty much.
You
a
can't
given.
count that one. We're all gonna say that. You too.
You have to.
right.
Good luck.
All right, whatever.
Bitch.
Voice of Resurgence, because voice
Yeah.
is never gonna get reprinted again.
No, obviously.
It-
Well, I
it-
mean, maybe in like Modern Masters 7 or something.
Yeah, like, but I'm talking like as a card right now.
Oh yeah, it's never been standard.
Yeah,
again.
it's never gonna be in standard again.
It's 2 Selesnya, so the only time it could be reprinted is if they go to like Return to Ravnica, which will be a while, and also it was too good, so
Yeah.
it'll be a while.
Yeah, voice right now is just a ridiculously good pickup. It's starting to go back up in price again, as is right now. So
Well, like once it rotates, it'll be
it's still about $20 for it.
Yep.
So, and that's the thing too with voices. There's not that many decks that you really need it for.
yeah.
But if you ever are sitting here thinking, you know what, I wouldn't even mind playing a deck that ran voice in it. Just pick a play setup, and just have it and just sit on
like
it.
voice,
if you
yeah,
ever-
like Naman said,
Yeah.
it's just one of those cards that you're kind of like, I just want to build this for. Yeah.
Well, it's also okay. So the reason I think voice is actually good to pick up is like it's gonna go up slowly, and it's just gonna be good trade value.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't plan on playing it, somebody down the road is gonna want voice of resurgence, and you just trade them. Easy. Like, oh, you're building a pod deck? Here, I got 4 voices. You only need 3? All right, I'll keep 1.
Yep.
I'll trade you the rest, and then get like whatever you want. So, it's just one of those cards that's gonna be worth picking up.
No, I can
Obviously,
definitely.
foils of it are like, yeah.
Well,
get
foils of anything like that is always just a must-have.
Okay, I
Uh,
dibs the 2-mana removal spell. That's in my colors. No one else is allowed to say it.
Well, that was my next one.
Well, you don't get that one. That's mine.
Okay.
You can talk about Sphinx's Rev.
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say Supreme Verdict then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, Supreme Verdict. That's a good.
I think Verdict's a really good, solid hold on to. It's never gonna be a high-priced, amazing card, but I could see down the road it being like a $5-6 card pretty easily.
Yeah.
So,
That does not seem unreasonable.
because I think it's what $2 right now for Supreme.
Verdict? I think it's like 4 or something like that.
I'm checking right now.
I don't know. Somewhere around there. So, me now? You done?
I'm done. That was my 3.
Okay. So I have 2. Now, you may have seen me just slaving through a deck. It's a modern deck. I'm going to show you the 2 cards that are in standard right now, and you should get them. There's Scavenging Ooze and Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
all of them now. Well, not now. Wait until they rotate, and they get
Yeah.
all of them.
Well, Scoos,
'Cause-
I forgot about Scoos because M14 does rotate. You're right.
It does. I'm so
Yep.
happy.
So
Get all-
yeah, get Scoos and Mutavault are in that list. Shit.
Yeah, Mutavault's. I was saving that one for Nayman. I may have also forgot about it. I also think Sphinx's Revelation is certainly worth picking up.
Like,
going
that's
to
the other one I
rotates?
was gonna say. It's like it's not as like as seen card, but just having it and being like, you know what, I think I will throw it in my America deck for modern and just throw one in there. And
Well, you do. It's a 1/2 of, and it's a solid 1/2 of.
Yeah. So that's just another.
Man. So the part where I held up the cards is just on screen, and I held them too low.
You're
Okay.
horrible.
Oh, for your.
Yeah,
Law
people couldn't see
Control.
them. No, Law Control's also going away. I'm
It
so
is.
sad.
Well, just make a cool like Dread style modern deck.
Is that a thing?
Why not?
There is.
Dude, there's so much brewing you could do in Modern.
Are you telling me there's a Lava Troll deck in Modern?
I don't know if it runs.
I have it already.
What deck? I actually sent it to my buddy the other day because he loves the kind of dread style of play.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it. I'll find it by the end of the show.
Okay, you find it and send it to me, and then I'll love you forever.
But let's think. Is there anything else? I mean, clearly the shock.
Are you kidding me? It's too high that time. No,
but I can't really think of anything that's really jumping out. That's like, make sure you're holding on to this.
I think Archangels are still a must to hold on to.
Yeah, I guess the Archangel. The only time that you're really seeing an Archangel ever
it's
really...
a one of an odd sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if hang on to a few, if you got a few Clonian Hydras, because they're going to be seeing play in Commander for years.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah.
They meant for Modern.
That's the other thing too with RTR is that you can get so much value out of Commander with the cards because they're being the dual colors and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
also, that's a format where like having really flavorful card, is good.
Yep.
Gotta get some steak card. I don't know. I went with flavorful. I'm like, should taste good, right? That was a bad joke.
That's a horrible joke.
I deserve that.
I'm just going through.
I guess I should look at this whole list, right?
I'm looking at the list. Lifebane Zombie might still be a good one to hang around too.
No, get rid of them all because I hate them.
Oh, you may hate them. Univaults definitely.
What else? What do you guys think about Loxit on Smiter?
You know what? Smiter is actually not a bad pick.
It's a cool card that gets no play really.
It gets a bit of play in Modern.
It gets a lot. It got it before Theros block. It saw a lot of play. You gotta remember.
Yeah,
that's true.
I remember a friend of mine leaves them where Smiters were $5 or whatever. Opened a foil Smiter and a Smiter in one pack, and I was like, I hate you.
Tippa actually wrote in Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle's been reprinted so many times. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again soon. So
it's just it's already being reprinted so many times. It's just not worth anything anymore. Rest in peace.
Yes,
that's what I've been getting a lot of. I'm like, you rest in peace. I need $2 more for this trade. All right, I'll take 2,000. Like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm like, yep, got it. I think I have 6 or 7 play sets at this point because I just see them and I take them all the time.
Well, because they're played in Legacy, they're played in Modern, they're played.
Yeah, a card that's played in both formats is not worth, but it's not played at all in Standard or whatever is worth nothing right now. But eventually, they're worth a lot. I could see it going from $1 right now to 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem unreasonable. Again, this is always competitive if you have foils. Generally, foils for Standard when it's in Standard, not as much, but foils for Eternal formats are worth a lot.
Yeah, because there's always guys that want to foil out a Legacy deck or foil out a.
Okay, I found the Dredge deck that has lot withdrawals in it.
Sweet. Ooh, I got another one, by the way. Deathrite Shaman.
Deathrite.
He's
okay.
You know what, though, with him being banned in Modern, he's worth picking up because he's not going to get reprinted.
Yeah.
And
he's played a lot in Legacy, though.
What?
Yeah,
but I was going to say Legacy.
He's playable Legacy, but I mean he's what maybe $10 right now.
Yeah.
So I guess picking up a couple, a set maximum for him, but I don't know.
Okay.
If you can nab a few for trade.
I more or less agree with you. I don't think Deathrite's a good buy. A friend of mine has I think he's trying to get 100.
What?
Yeah, he thinks that they're going to be $40 this time next year. No.
He's either going to be really happy or really sad.
I think he's going to be really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that happening pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't agree with this choice. That looks very good. So that's all for RTR the set. Do you guys see any more?
No, I think
I know
that's
there's a
about
couple
it.
in Gate Crash, Domri and Gate Crash.
Domray, I think, is worth it. I don't think he's gonna jump too much higher than. I think he's like a $12 Planeswalker.
Well, I'm thinking like right as soon as he rotates, he'll be pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Pick up a playset and see what happens.
You know which one
really
I wanted to always be good, and he was good before Theros, was Reckoner. Boris Reckoner is just...
Okay. With Reckoner, you can still see him in a few modern decks.
Which ones?
I mean, they're like the mono red, sort of not really seeing super competitive play with them.
Bad on red deck.
Sort of like they're more like the aggro east mid-rangey kind of style of there, not just like straight up like I'm just gonna get goblins or these one-drop aggro creatures and turn them at your face, or I'm just gonna play burn spells and turn them at your face. That are just a little bit more kind of focused on the mid-stage style of the game there. But it's really not something you're seeing.
So I remember he for a while he was like a $20 card.
He was
Reckoner, yeah.
And Nufty.
Yeah,
Charms wise, Gilgari Charm is always my pick.
Yeah, I don't think it's really worth picking up though. It's just
no. I mean, you might be able to get some foils or something a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, foils are a lot. They're like $50 right now.
The extent of for charm wise.
Mm-hmm. Maybe like a couple Rakdos charms. They're a little bit in the sideboard. Mainly because like when the pod deck, or not the pod deck. Well, I guess Angel or Kiki pod, but when like the twin deck tries to go off. Like, all right, I'll make 200 fairies. Like, I'll Rakdos charm. I win.
Surprise! Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet there. It's like putting Helm of Obedience in your deck that you know your opponent's going to board and rest in peace versus. Yep. That's cute.
The other one, I'm going to throw this one out to you guys. Legion Loyalist.
No. It's a red card. I don't want it. And I don't mean like I don't like red. I mean red cards just aren't worth very much money unless it's Goblin Guide.
Okay.
It's literally the only red card I can think of that's worth a lot. Like maybe, well, I guess Burning of Zinni and Rolling Earthquake, but that's only because they were printed in Portals.
Yeah.
And they're getting reprinted again. But I don't know. I don't think Legion Loyalists. What do you think, Nayman? You gonna pick up all the Legion Loyalists?
I will, just for the aspect of a tribal deck.
Sure.
That's the only reason why I picked him up.
Fair enough. You want to run the tribal goblins? I mean, he's the soldier too, isn't he?
He is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Tribal soldiers.
Could be.
Goblin soldier.
Nuclear wants to know how we feel about Advent of the Worm.
Is that being played in Eternal formats?
I don't think I've seen it yet. I haven't run. I can personally, I haven't run into it. Yeah. But that doesn't mean it's not possible, because a 4-mana 5/5 trampler
at instant speed.
Speed
is kind of good.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's really gonna matter picking that up. Yeah, I don't think it's really gonna matter picking it up. I don't like any rush to pick it up, as opposed to like some of maybe the other cards we were talking about. I think there's going to be... I feel like there's still an abundance of them just around, where a lot more people were playing Advent last standard, and now we don't see it at all anymore. And so it's just people are like, well, I got it.
Yeah.
So.
True, Imperial Recruiters is worth a lot now. So
I'm missing part of this conversation.
That was the Legion Loyalist part. So.
Domri, any charms, Advent. Oh, that's why you thought of Golgari Charm. Yeah. Okay. Imperial Recruiter's worth a lot now. Where's the context? Was it not worth a lot then?
No, it was worth nothing.
Okay. Yes, yeah. Imperial Recruiter is a red card that's worth decent money. Again, like that's an older card, and so if you were printed compared to Legion Loyalist, like it's just hard for me to say go pick up Legion Loyalist now.
I'd probably wait till he drops a little bit more and then maybe nab a few.
Oh, I mean, like even like right after rotation. I don't know if you really need it. It's like a really low risk though. Like, he's not worth much of anything. If you pick up like a couple playsets or whatever, and then he spikes at some point for some reason, you just sell them all and get pretty good value.
What about a Fiendslayer Paladin?
I'm gonna pick it up for my night deck.
Yeah, sure.
Is
it a night? I thought he would be a paladin.
I don't think there's a paladin type.
There should be.
There should. Yeah, he's a human knight. 2/2 first strike,
Okay.
life link. Can't be the target of red or black spells your opponent control.
So if you're
And-
crazy like Man, and you want to play a knight deck, then
Do you,
yeah.
do you want to play tribal decks? He's one to pick up Bleeding Loyalist, so you can get
Do
your
you want to
Goblin
play a
Tribal
tribal
on.
deck that's white?
You've got options.
It's amazing.
Do you want to play the coolest creature type in Magic? Well, I've got a
All right.
deck for you.
And I'm going to throw one more out to you guys. Zethra Necromancer. It's a whopping 75 cents right now.
Yeah, there's a reason.
So
It's
no?
bulk rare. No, I don't think so. Like, unless some crazy black human deck comes out in Modern,
Yeah.
which I don't think there will be, then no.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually if a card's really cheap, there's a reason.
Well, I mean,
he's a cool card, though. I like him.
it saw some play back. I mean, I played a black-white humans deck with him.
I remember that deck.
Yeah.
It was like all the rage for...
Dude, it was awesome. Tragic Slip people and... Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you have a better chance of making Cartel Aristocrat more expensive than that card.
Oh, Cartel Aristocrat is just, yeah. It's
Just
special.
Cartel Aristocrat's weird. It's so in like so anyone who doesn't understand anything about Magic, like someone who's new to the game will look at it and be like, "This card's terrible, right? It's just a 2/2 for 2." It's actually not terrible. It's like the most resilient 2/2 for 2 ever. Is Jace worth picking up? Like
Which J?
Handsome
I think
Jace?
I think they're talking about Architect, yeah.
Yeah, the one that's rotating. I don't know. 4 mana is a lot. I think Jace Bellerin is better, and he doesn't really see that much play.
Yeah, Bellerin I think is a lot better.
Also, like with the dual deck, makes him less of a great spec. And I feel Spectre's kind of cool. That's one I might actually be okay with getting.
Yeah, because he
Like-
could. All it takes is someone like a Jeff Hoogland or a Matt Higgs to brew something out of the, or Reed Duke even, something crazy, and say, I'm going to play this, and then it just, people look at it and go, oh my god, we got to play this deck.
I don't understand.
So,
Yeah, that's one I might pick up a few more of. Like I've got a playset right now of like the promo. I guess that's one reason that it might not be worth as much because it's got a promo. But
Yeah, but that was a limited print promo.
was it?
Yeah.
The promo was cheaper than the normal one. What was the promo for?
I forget.
Okay. Either way, yeah, I think I feel Spectre's actually one that we might have missed, but I think we're pretty much past that. Like, I can't really think of any other cards that I want to pick up from the
No,
two
Pack
sets.
Rat, like we said in Osprey in the beginning, is really, I'd wait.
A little bit, yeah.
I'd wait a little bit, let it keep going down, because it's gonna go down.
I don't think there's any real rush in Pack Rat.
No.
It's gonna be good eventually, and it might be worth like $5 or whatever. So it's like eventually it's gonna be worth picking up. But I think like
I think
rate
honestly, right
application
now,
even,
Abrupt Decays
price-
are gonna be your biggest. Is one of your biggest, like you said.
yeah.
Abrupt
All right,
Decay.
so let's move on.
All right.
Oh, no worries.
Oh, no
Osprey.
worries, Osprey. That's we're good with it. So thank
Yeah.
you for tuning
So
in.
moving on. Do you guys have any like specific cards you're gonna miss a lot from this set? I know I do.
Mazen.
For me,
Mazen, all right.
for me, it's over the last, I want to say, 6 months. I've been playing a lot of Control, so I'm going to definitely say I'm going to miss Rev. And
You're a bad person.
I am. I'm the fun police.
Wow. What cards are you gonna miss? Oh, you know that really impressive one that makes us play certain decks? That one.
That one.
Yup.
All right. Well,
Good talk.
that
good
just
talk.
means we don't give Pat an opinion anymore. I
Yeah.
think that's what that's the solution,
What up?
guys.
I'm the host. Back off.
Anything else?
Slaughter games.
Yeah.
I will miss Slaughter games. I love Slaughter games.
Dude, tell me how good it was when you were playing Slaughter games and you were playing that guy that was playing the Rev deck. And you just name Rev, and they'd look at you like, really? You're
Well,
like, you're on
should've
equal
used to.
footing now.
Now you're not way ahead. Based on your deck choice. Yeah, I think Slaughter Games was kind of like their pick to be able to deal with Rev. But the problem is you had to be playing red and black, and it was also just not that great.
So Osprey's card that he's happy is leaving is Underworld Connections, it sounds like.
What am I
So I'm
happy to
missing-
see leaving?
no.
Rev.
Yeah.
I
have a list.
You've got get ready. Here it
Happy
is.
I'm happy to see leaving.
Yeah.
Abrupt.
Wait,
Decay.
no, I need to do my favorites. Lawless
Okay.
Troll. Okay, we can
Yeah.
go on.
All right.
Oh, and Rakdos' Return. I like that card too.
That card's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Oh, he's gonna miss Underworld Connections. Underworld Connections was a good
yeah.
card.
It's pretty sweet in the mono black deck. I don't want it to go. I feel like Underworld Connections like just wasn't used enough in Innistrad RTR,
Yeah.
or maybe like it just wasn't quite good enough. Yeah, I think Abrupt Decay is the other card that I'm really gonna miss. Like
Yeah.
Abrupt Decay, maybe even Putrefy a little bit.
Dude, Mizium Mortars, I think I might miss a little bit because that was a
Yeah.
blowout card.
Blowout City.
I'm not gonna lie. When your opponent watched you tap 6, and
Yeah.
then them looking at you going, "Really?"
No, don't do it. Mercy, mercy. Oh.
And then you go mortars, and then you just put your arm down on everything and just
This is how Pat plays. He does everything in like the way that's gonna make his opponent the most angry.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
He
like,
just throws it at his face, taps
Yeah.
everything, messes up his board. He like puts all his opponent's creatures in the graveyard, but he like does it softly and he throws them off the table. That's what it's like playing against Pat.
why would you say that? I would never.
I
do
don't know.
that.
It's probably true. I feel like it's true.
It actually probably is.
I just wait for the point where you cut your opponent's deck and all you do is like flick it and it falls over. You like pull one card out, throw it at them.
Oh god, Osprey, Cyclonic Rift. That was the card that you never saw coming, but you should have at all times.
Nobody ever saw the Cyclonic Rift coming.
It was like Monty Python. I'm gonna make a bad Monty Python joke. It was like the Spanish Inquisition.
I have not seen that one.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
No one expects the Cyclonic Rift. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm playing a weird blue something deck. He's got a lot of mana open, a few cards in hand. Oh, I'm gonna swing,
Why not?
swing, and then you see them tap down, and they're like rift, and you're like, and I didn't even activate it, my Planeswalker.
Aw.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. That one's gonna be interesting. I like Rift.
It's like, I'll tell you what, Rift in Commander is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. I think that maybe should be banned.
I think Prophet and Rift should be banned out of Commander.
I don't have a problem with Prophet, but Rift is just too good. Anyway, this is not the Commander segment.
No.
So let's move on
Yep.
to cards that we will not be missing.
Can I bring up one card that saw a metric ass ton of play before Theros, and then it just disappeared and never came back?
You may.
Angel of Serenity.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's no way to play it for a reasonable cost, so.
Yeah.
White Devotion wasn't a thing.
No,
Right.
it was, and it's a good card.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you-
It's so much mana.
It is. It's a ton of
it
mana.
is. That's why it's,
It's
like
like triple
the,
It was triple white. It was 7-drop.
Yeah.
yeah, it's expensive.
But before that, you'd see it come out, and you'd be like, "No, Angel of Serenity, why are you here?"
I just spat water on my face. Yeah, it was pretty scary. That's for sure.
I hated that card.
Yeah. So cards aren't gonna be set up a single leave. I said Rev.
I'm actually gonna say I am happy to see Voice and Blood Baron go away.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like main deckable hate cards I hate. Like so Lifebane Zombie and Tiebiter Mage are like
Oh yeah.
bane of my life. So I hate those.
You know what though?
Yeah.
When they play a Blood Baron and you're playing like mono black that day, you're like,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah.
Did I play the 4 Devour Fleshes today? Nope.
Great.
Sweet. Yeah, you just look at your hand. It's like, Heroes Downfall, Doomblade.
Yeah.
You're like,
there's no busy orders here.
Yup.
Abrupt Decay is useless in 2 ways.
Yeah. You're like, this is great. I can't even win at this point.
It's not great. It sucks.
Yeah.
Bloodburn's lame.
So, I mean, you know what? The other one I'm actually going to say I'm happy to see go because of Pack Rat being in the format so much as Mutavault.
Yeah.
Mutavault.
Oh, you know what? That's got to be it. That's why Pack Rat wasn't so dominant. Because there's no Mutavault for it.
True.
Huh.
Yeah, Mutavault
like,
comes out and it made Pack Rat just 100 times better.
Yeah, because Mutavault's legal in Modern and all the Pack Rat decks play Mutavault.
Yeah.
That's gotta be it. And we were already so set in our ways when it came out before that we just didn't want to switch to 1 colors. Because everyone was playing those 3-color green decks and stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Problem solved.
The end.
It's like, oh my god. Alright, tap Mutavault, activate Mutavault. Pack Rat's now 3-3 or 4-4. Sorry, your Bioblight misses it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So, do you want to get on to the next part as soon as possible?
Sure.
Because we've been on RTR for a while. Naaman, anything that you're really happy to see going? Probably Maze's.
I'm sad to see Maze's End's gone. I'm happy to see pretty much all of Mono Black Devotion stuff gone. That's my thoughts on that.
What is it?
I got
Connections, Rat, Demon?
Night Veil Spectre, Lifebane Zombie.
Yeah. So that entire deck is just gone.
Yeah.
That entire deck just took it.
Yeah. All the enablers are gone and the payoff is still there, but the payoff wasn't really the good part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
All right,
so you guys move on to spoilers?
Let's just do brief spoilers and then
of course.
So, spoilers. There's Tri-Lands, guys.
Yeah, dude, there's these Tri-Lands. There's gonna be 1 for each clan. They come in tapped and they tap for 3 mana.
Yeah. That's the spoiler. That's the only spoiler we need to talk about. Best land out there.
Yeah. No, wait. I think there's this other thing.
Was there something that we're missing for?
Yeah, I remember seeing this video on YouTube about the reaction to these.
Of all these nerds, nerd raging out.
Nerds and nerdettes. there were a lot of ladies there.
Oh, there
they
was.
Too.
And I guess Osprey's already read the spoilers, so we can't have him in channel anymore.
Yeah, you have to be banned now.
We have to ban him now.
Say it. Hey, Osprey, listen. We don't spoil here. Fetchlands are a thing. Now you're allowed to say it.
All right. I guess since he spoiled it, guys, we can all stand up and clap. Here we go, guys. Welcome back, Fetchlands.
Hey, Fetchlands. Hi. I know that you weren't clapping at home, and I hate you for it.
You know what I actually want to say is I stayed up for this.
Did you?
I knew something was coming. I had some inkling.
I was just awake anyway.
So I saw Fetchlands hit, and I went, all right, let's see what Star City did. And with it, as soon as Fetchlands got announced, the polluted deltas and all that, it was literally like a $40 price drop on them.
Jeez.
They went from 100 to 50.
I saw some of them that were 20, 30 a little bit ago.
Yeah, they're taking dumb.
Well, yeah, the wooded foothills and stuff.
Right, right.
They all just took a major dump. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine because here's the thing. Wizards wants to make a more powerful standard. Well, how do we make a very powerful standard, guys? We're going to print some really powerful cards. And we've always agreed fetches are probably one of the most powerful cards out there. They make your mana base round. Well, I mean, that's the best way to,
The dual lands that come into play untapped and only cost you 1 life.
Yeah.
They're insane. Play them. That's why I'm actually... Okay, so these cards, I think were printed at the wrong time. Not because I think they're too good, but because I think that if you're doing a wedge set, you should print the enemy lands, because I don't even want to play the wedges right now. I'm playing the shards.
True.
I just want to play extra fetch lands.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever played a Corsair deck with fetch lands, that's what I'm doing this standard.
That's what I'm doing.
Me, Corsair, and Sylvan Heritage are becoming BFFs.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. I've been BFFs with those two for a while.
Same
I love
here.
it. Wooded Foothills and Windswept Heath.
Yeah.
You love them more. Even the other ones are still pretty darn good to have in there. Just having extra fetches with your course is really good.
I can honestly say I have an original playset, and I'm like, I should have really unloaded them.
Yeah, I almost traded for fetches. I almost traded for Wooded Foothills because I was almost certain that they weren't going to get reprinted.
Yeah,
I was like, what? I probably shouldn't do this.
And honestly, Osprey really just put a good point out. Look at Ob. Ob just got printed, and I'm.
Yeah. That was kind of funny. I tweeted after. I'm like, so does Ob Nixilis get playable now?
And he becomes very playable at that
He's
point.
6 mana though.
It does not matter.
It matters. 6 mana is a lot.
6 is a lot, but
So like in a normal game, your opponents can have 6 mana as well, and potentially some way to remove your Ob Nixilis.
Sure.
But even then, like even if they just sit on 6 lands for the whole game, it's not that bad.
Not the worst.
And they can still play their non-fetch lands.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it makes Ob Nixilis insane. Like it might. I'm
makes
not saying
him interesting.
It sure won't. Yeah, it makes him interesting. I'll agree. That's the perfect way of putting it.
That's the best way I could say it. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, guys. I was looking at a lot of these, and I'm like, all right, well, they wanted to make things more powerful. Check, they've done that. They wanted to make Modern more accessible to players. Check, we just did that.
Modern is also much stronger now too.
Yeah, and now Modern, it's going to be like, oh, well, I want to play my Verdants with my Polluteds and something else. Now you can play...
I actually don't think it's going to change Modern too much.
It'll change the 3-color decks.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
three-color
I think
Modern
that's-
decks are just going to get that much better.
Because I've been running, like, so for John, usually you run, like, a Misty into Marsh Flats. You just don't have to do it anymore. Because the problem with, like, the Misty or whatever is you can't get a Blood Crypt with Misty, and you can't get the Stomping Grounds with
Here's
Marsh
actually a
Flats.
really solid question, guys, and I'm going to... generally, we save questions till last, but Nuclear came out with a really solid
I've kind
one.
of just been doing them anyway.
Yeah. He asked, can you explain how is it possible to have room for fetches in a 3-color deck? Don't you need pain lands, temples, mana confluences? Like, there's no room for basics and fetches. What Nuclear I don't know. Did you play back when there was fetches, or is this something new you're seeing for the first time? I'm just that's my big question, is because what you do is fetches take the place of pain lands in a way, and or temples they might take the place of, because it's very strong. Because when you have a fetch out, you go, okay, well, I need to play this card next, so that's where the basic comes in. You go, okay, well, I need a green card, let me go get my green card, my forest or whatever. When shocks were involved, God help us, it was, let me go get my stomping ground.
Well, yeah, that's for Modern.
Yeah, that's Modern, but I mean, for Standard, it's still going to be just as strong, because you can go fetch for a...
No, it's not just as strong.
One thing that you're going to be seeing is with Theros and the Scrylands, the format slowed down a
Okay,
little
he
bit.
did not play when fetches came out. Yeah.
Neither did I. I mean, like,
With having the fetches in there, you're going to see things become a lot quicker.
Yes.
And that's just going to be something you're going to start noticing. And you can definitely get away with running 8 fetch lands in your deck.
And 8 basics.
Easily, and not have to worry about running those temples and the other
Yeah.
lands. So,
I think another point, like, so with fetches, you can kind of get away with playing like 24 to 25 lands.
yeah.
Which is fine, but like you're going to be playing, if you play the full number of temples, like say you're playing the full number of temples, full number of fetches.
Yeah.
So you're going to have 12 temples, 8 fetches.
Yep.
So that's what?
20.
That's 20. So you can have 4 basics at that point,
Yeah.
in your 24 land deck. I think shaving's like 4 temples for 4 basics, or like 3 temples and 1 fetch is going to be fine. Like, you don't need that many duels, and just having those extra basics in your deck makes your mana less painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can mix them. You just need to be playing a good number. Like, so you look at Modern, a lot of decks will have, 7 or 8 fetch lands and 6 fetchable lands.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it looks weird, but it's because you're not going to use every fetch land in a game. But you're going to need all those basics, all those fetchable lands, assuming a normal kind of game. Unless you draw all your fetches, in which case something weird has happened.
Yeah.
So, I think it looks weird, but, it's not that bad.
You know what? I will
It's
say
a good
this.
question, though. Thank you.
It's probably one of the we've had. I'm going to say this right now. Our channel has taken a really good turn, where we're getting a really good amount of viewers finally, and a lot of people are talking, and we're getting these questions which we can answer. Because between all of us, I mean, I've been playing 20 years. Brandon, you've been playing a really long time. So same with Nanman, and we all have knowledge we like to just kind of talk about.
I'm also just in hum.
Yeah. But with fetches being in there, I mean, I don't see the tri-lands that they're reprinting basically becoming a big thing because they come into play tapped. So
yeah,
and
but if you're working on a 3-color deck, I want those.
Yeah, I understand that, but with like Nanman said, right now fetches things are gonna be fast, and with a guy like you have a lot of good decks that can become a lot faster.
So here's my question then.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen any fast cards from the set yet. We haven't seen a single card that would make me want to play an aggro deck.
Sure.
From Theros, what is there to make me want to play like a super fast deck?
Honestly, the card, and it was brought up, is Rabble Master.
Okay.
Rabble Master, with Chris CVM putting Rabble Master into his Jund deck and saying how oppressive that card was, just makes people look at it and go, okay, it's at 3.
So there's one. There's like Fire Drinker Satyr.
Yeah.
Augustus Warhound is okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's all going to depend on what actual cards are printed in cons. Because right now we haven't got enough aggro to make the deck viable. It'd be like a block deck, which wasn't really that great. Mono Black aggro was the thing I'm you're right.
Even with Jund monsters, like with that deck, we're losing the Mystic, the Rampager.
No, Mystics are in M15, brother.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so you're losing Rampager and what? Ooze.
And Domray.
And Domray.
Oh, for monsters?
Yeah.
You're not losing a lot.
So, like, you could really be all set with that one, pretty much.
I don't know if it's an aggro deck, though. It's a little more mid-rangey. I think it's a deck that wants to play fetches.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And then we had another question. Our machine goes, do you guys believe Odyssey fetches coming into Modern will change the color combinations on primary decks being played? It's a possibility we could start seeing some different color combos and how they work. So
I don't know. I'm still not expecting the lands to have too much of a major impact on the Modern format as a whole.
We'll see. I mean, it's something we'll definitely see.
So here's the thing, like Modern, Naaman's talked about it, with shocks and fetches, you have pretty much all the land you need for the fixing.
Yeah.
It doesn't make colors more accessible to... Well, it does make colors more accessible. It's not going to make people like, oh, I can play Jund now. I couldn't before. It's going to be all the people playing Jund are like, oh, okay, my deck got a little better.
Yeah.
Yep.
It has an impact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's just going to be those slight changes that you're doing. It's not going to be like a huge influx of like, oh, like you were saying, I'm going to see all the Jund decks start cropping up because of these.
Oh my god, Jund is playable now. Whoa.
Yeah, no, and next one wasn't mono black aggro a thing in block? It was. We're gonna see how that changes out. So, Osprey said, so they're slowing standard down with Scrylands and Trilands, and then print fetches to speed it up. Isn't it a contradiction?
No.
In a way, it a little bit is.
So, okay, here's my do fetches really speed up the format that much? It's just
It can.
It can.
It depends. It's honestly going to depend on what else we see in spoilers. Right now, with as little spoilers as we actually have out of 267 cards.
Yeah.
We only have like 60 of those.
Yeah. So I think I don't think the
fetches are going to help out with if we are going to see